What is going on, you guys, and welcome back to another video in the street build series where today we're going to be covering the Acura RSX. First, let's do a deep dive on the Acura RSX. The Acura RSX was produced from the years 2001 to 2006 and came with either a 5-speed manual or automatic in the base model and an upgraded 6-speed transmission in the Type S. The differences continue with the base packing a total of 155 horsepower, but that gets a major upgrade, respectively, in the Type S with a whopping 201 horsepower. Unfortunately, there were no more produced after 2006, and instead Acura moved to the TSX, which was meant to be more luxurious, and the Honda Civic Si would take the previous market share that the RSX took up. So we're going to pay some homage to this car and find the perfect street build for the Acura RSX. Starting off with the wheels, I've gone with the Vorse TR4 18 by 8.5 plus 35 offset wheels in Hyper Black, which should help for our future upgrades when we're putting down more power, having this wide wheel, and I think that 18-inch wheels just look so good on any car. Now we're going to wrap these in the Continental Extreme Contact DWS 06 Plus that are 245 by 40 ZR18, which should also help us to put down the power when we add some performance mods later and keep the tires from spinning. Now moving on to coilovers, we're going to be going with the BC Racing BR Series coilovers, which I always think are good. They're at a good price point, and they're going to be able to help us to lower this thing so that way it looks super sleek and also improve our suspension tenfold over stock, because as good as a car looks with coilovers, this really is a performance upgrade. So this is going to sound crazy, but we are starting with a side-mounted turbo kit. I know, but based on what we're going to be doing with this thing, it's best to start out with this and then we can fill in all the gaps based on what the turbo kit provides, because I feel like that just makes the most sense, at least to me. So this turbo kit comes from UPP Turbo Systems, and their system includes a lot of cool parts, and that starts with the UPP 6182R ball bearing turbo, which is capable of producing 600 or more wheel horsepower. So that's pretty crazy. We probably won't be making that much here just because that sounds like a lot of money in other upgrades, but nonetheless helpful to have that overhead. Also included is the UPP tubular manifold, a 3-inch downpipe, 40mm Turbo Smart wastegate, which should be pretty nice, an HRFL blow-off valve, which is always love a good blow-off valve, wastegate dump tube, front mount air-to-air intercooler, which is also a nice addition, so you don't have to go out of your way to find a different front mount intercooler that will work and worry about how they interact and stuff. Intercooler piping, 3-ply silicone couplers, stainless steel T-bolt clamps, stainless steel braided oil feed/return line with AN fittings, and an air intake with a filter. So that's actually a really good chunk of parts that we already get included with the turbo kit, and I feel that it's good that they all come in this kit because it also means that they're tested all working together by UPP to ensure its quality. Also, as a note, UPP claims that their UPP 6182R ball bearing turbo is comparable to that of a Garrett GT35R, for those of you who'd be wondering. So for reference, I found that 400 horsepower on these cars is accepted as pretty safe, and then some other people were saying that you could push that number closer to about 500 horsepower as long as you have a reliable tune. So because of this, we're gonna shoot for like 450 horsepower just so we don't have to modify the internals and we can just stick with stock. Now we gotta ensure that we're getting enough fueling, starting with adding some injectors. That is where the Deutschwerks K-Series injectors come in, and they are just one piece of the puzzle to help us get enough fuel for that 450 horsepower target. Next up, we're going to need a new fuel pump, and that's also coming from Deutschwerks. This is their 340 liter per hour fuel pump, which in combination with our injectors should give us some more confidence on this thing being able to reach that sweet 450 horsepower. Now, since this thing is getting such a big horsepower upgrade, it's probably a safe practice for us to get a new clutch, and we are going to be choosing the competition clutch kit, which should make this thing a lot better of an experience to drive and also should be a little bit of a quality of life upgrade. With this added horsepower too, it's probably best for us to get some new spark plugs. So these are going to be the NGK Iridium spark plugs, which are perfect, and we can get them 2 steps colder, which should help us to reduce any potential knock for this thing, and we can keep things healthy whenever we're... Skunk 2 I feel like is a pretty well-known brand, and their exhausts sound really good. So because of that, for this car, we're going to be going with the Skunk 2 Mega Power exhaust system, and I think you'll agree that it sounds pretty amazing. As a requirement from the turbo kit that we bought, we do need some sort of tuner to be able to run it, but we were already going to get one of those in the first place, and that is the K-Tuner Flash V2, so that way we can make modifications to the map with the help of the tuner. So this next thing, of course, then is getting a tune. With adding all these modified parts, it makes sense that the car wouldn't run normal, since, you know, that's not how it's shipped from the factory. And of course, we want to squeeze some more horsepower out of this thing with our new parts, so a tune is pretty necessary. This will ensure that our car is running healthy, and we can help to squeeze that extra power out with the help of our turbo kit, and overall, it'll just make sure that everything's in check. Next up, we gotta be able to stop this car, and that of course is gonna be with the upgraded big brake kit from DC5 Association. And I think that we for sure need this because we're producing over 2 times what the stock horsepower was on this car. With that though, we have added all the mods that we need for this car and our street build is done. These mods should make this car a lot of fun to drive and hopefully a solid 450 horsepower. And the turbo is capable of even going higher, so if you got some more supporting mods, I'm sure that you'd be able to turn this thing up even more. There is some stuff that could be missing, so if you notice anything, make sure to leave a comment down below. If there's anything that you would add or change to, make sure that you comment that down below. I always love to see what you guys think of everything that goes into each street build. And as you guys know, these videos come out every single Sunday, so if you have any ideas for cars that you would like to see on this too, make sure to leave those down below and I'm sure I can do a street build for it. Thank you guys for watching and checking out the build. I really appreciate all the support and everything that you guys give me. Channel's been growing a lot recently, so I'm thankful for you guys for being here. Hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you in the next one.